Okay, let's take a look at a specific example. This is a client who called me last month and had the opportunity to expand their business into a local grocery store chain. To do that, they needed between $20,000 and $30,000 to expand their kitchen facilities. Now, this company has about $600,000 in total annual sales and averages about $20,000 a month in Visa MasterCard transactions. Let's take a look at what their options were. Their first option would provide them with $32,500 in financing. To get that, they would need to use 22% of their Visa MasterCard sales for repayment, and the total repayment amount would be $48,400. We also had an option to get them $28,000. That would require the same $22,000 of financing from their Visa MasterCard, but the total repayment amount dropped down to $39,200. That's a difference of almost $9,000 in lower repayment cost. And the difference here was only about $3,500, about $4,500. The third option would give them $20,000, the low end of their range. That would also require 22% of their Visa MasterCard transactions, but the total repayment amount here is only $26,400. A savings here of about $13,000 in lower financing, and they only got about $8,000 less in financing. Now, when you look at three objectively presented options, whatever fits you best will probably jump right off the page. The problem for most merchants is that they only get one option presented to them, and it's hard to make a decision in that environment. In this particular case, the merchant decided that option number 3, which was the low end of his range, would probably fit his business the best. But we could take it one step further, because there's still some options from here, depending on how quickly or long they wanted to take for repayment. Let's take a look at what those options are. So, we've made the decision that $20,000 is the right funding amount, using 22% of their Visa MasterCard transactions and a total repayment of $26,400. However, I could structure this to lower the impact on the cash flow, which is going to have an increase in the total cost of capital. We can also take a look at doing it the opposite way. So let's consider 3 further options. The first is going to use the same $20,000, but in this example, I'm going to take the retrieval percentage up to 25%. Doing so will reduce the total amount of capital paid to $25,600. So we increase the impact on cash flow a little bit, but we're saving a few $100s more. Let's consider taking this the other way. We use the same $20,000, but now instead of 22%, we're going to actually drop this down to 17%. By doing so, the cost of capital will now be $27,400. But I could drop this even further. I could take the same $20,000 and have a repayment that's only 13% of the Visa MasterCard transactions. That, though, is going to increase the total repayment amount to $30,000. So from that perspective, we can reduce the impact on cash flow, or we can increase the cost of capital, depending on what's most important to you and in your business. So if you can give me your Visa MasterCard transactions and your total gross sales, I'd be happy to plug your figures into this formula and help you determine what options you really have, so that you can have a simple decision about what funding fits you best. So that's it. Once you've determined the funding that fits you best, we'll put it through our proprietary system and match you with the best funding source. Listen, I know you've got a dozen things on your to-do list, but it really is pretty simple. With one telephone call and about 4 or 5 minutes of your time, we can take you through this process, help you determine the amount of capital you qualify for, and then help you structure that funding in a way that fits your company the best. So give us a call. I'll be happy to talk to you, and help you out as best we can.